and welcome to the SWBN News Watch, where we report global events from a Christian perspective. I am Chiemela Chike. Thanks for joining us today. With events unfolding every single moment, let's look at some stories that caught our attention during the week. The Christian Headlines has reported that for the first time in 2 decades, the U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom is recommending that Afghanistan be designated as a major violator of religious freedom due to what it calls a significant deterioration of freedom in that country. The Commission recommended that the Biden administration designate Afghanistan as a country of particular concern, a category reserved for the world's worst violators of religious freedom. Others in the list include Iran and North Korea. Still quoting Christian Headlines, it is the first time the Commission has recommended the status of countries of particular concern for Afghanistan since 2001. This is coming after the Taliban took control of the country in 2021 following the U.S. military's withdrawal. The report went on to say that with the Taliban's return to power, religious freedom conditions in Afghanistan and the overall human rights situation significantly deteriorated in 2021. Christians and other religious minorities faced harassment, detention, and even death due to their faith or beliefs. According to Christian Headlines, Afghanistan is one of 15 countries recommended for CPC status, that is countries of particular concern. 10 of those were designated by the State Department as CPCs in November last year. Countries named on the list are Burma, China, Eritrea, Iran, North Korea, Pakistan, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Tajikistan, and Turkmenistan. Meanwhile, the USCIRF has recommended that 5 others be placed on the list, namely Afghanistan, India, Nigeria, Syria, and Vietnam. Christian Headlines also reported that Russia's foreign minister warned that a nuclear conflict should not be underestimated, adding that the violence could spiral into World War III. Courthouse News has it that with the United States saying Russia needs to suffer a crippling defeat, the rhetoric coming from Moscow is getting more heated too, with a warning from its foreign minister that the Ukraine conflict could spiral out of control into a new world war. Courthouse News goes on to say that the escalating war of words between Moscow and Washington comes at a moment when the battlefield is expanding, with more explosions being reported on Russian territory and now also in Transnistria, a pro-Russian breakaway region inside the tiny country of Moldova, which is sandwiched between Romania and Ukraine. According to Courthouse News, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said Russia has, quote, a feeling that the West wants Ukraine to continue to fight and, as it seems to them, wear out, exhaust the Russian army and the Russian military-industrial war complex. This is an illusion, end of quote. Away from that now, CBN News has reported that the U.S. Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals has now rejected a central lawsuit filed by abortionists against the Texas Heartbeat Act. The appeals court essentially dismissed the lawsuit that had attempted to overturn the pro-life heartbeat law that is stopping nearly 50% of abortions each day in Texas. According to Texas Right to Life, the 3-judge panel kicked the legal challenge against the Heartbeat Act back to the Texas Supreme Court with orders to dismiss all challenges. According to CBN News, private citizens can report abortion providers or anyone involved in facilitating an abortion after a heartbeat is detected. Still on this, Kim Schwartz of Texas Right to Life celebrated the victory, saying, quote, the abortion industry's legal attacks are meritless, end of quote. Meanwhile, in a tweet, Texas Governor Greg Abbott praised the ruling, quote, another legal loss for those challenging SB 8, that is the pro-life law that is saving babies every day, end of quote. Moreover, CBN News wrote that abortion advocates, including the Biden administration, have filed numerous lawsuits to stop the enforcement of the law. pro-choice advocates claim that the Heartbeat Act is unconstitutional and will greatly affect women's access to abortions. Still on this, Texas Right to Life believes SB 8 is saving the lives of at least 100 preborn babies each day. In a recent development, Tesla CEO Elon Musk has acquired Twitter, raising debates on the possibility of free speech on the platform. According to Vanguard, the CEO had earlier stated that free speech is the bedrock of a functioning democracy, and Twitter is the digital town square where matters vital to the future of humanity are debated. Still quoting Vanguard, the purchase of Twitter did not settle well with some politicians in the United States and likewise the rich. Meanwhile, American billionaire and Amazon founder Jeff Bezos reacted to the development with a tweet, quote, "Interesting question. Did the Chinese government just gain a bit of leverage over the town square?" End of quote. Also reacting, U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren tweeted, quote, "This deal is dangerous for our democracy. Billionaires like Elon Musk play by a different set of rules than everyone else, accumulating power for their gain. We need a wealth tax and strong rules to hold big tech accountable." End of quote. Moreover, former U.S. Secretary of Labor Robert Reich claimed that, quote, "A handful of billionaires now have unprecedented control over banking, the food we eat, the healthcare we receive. This is what oligarchy looks like." End of quote. Meanwhile, Kirk Cameron, a Christian artist, responded to the news with a Facebook post where he said, quote, "I like Avenger movies. What we all love is savage superhero looking to one man with lots of money and power to fix our problems is how people unwittingly enslave themselves. How? By looking to the wrong source for their freedom and protection. While I'm thankful for Elon's crusade to save free speech, it should have been we the people, all of us full of faith and character who render bad companies powerless by holding them accountable and build good ones in their place by putting our money and time where our mouth is." Perhaps, and I hope, that is exactly what Elon is doing. But if we want lasting freedom and blessing, we must not look for a Captain America to be our free speech savior. The savior position has already been permanently filled by the only qualified candidate. And we the people need to step up our game and self-govern with our combined powers of faith, character, and courage, or a bigger brother Thanos will gladly fill the void and do the governing for us. End of quote. Over to Nigeria, this day newspaper reports that abductors have released a photograph of a newborn baby girl delivered in terrorist den by a mother abducted during the March 28 attack on an Abuja-Kaduna bound train. The former military governor of Kaduna State, Colonel Abubakar Umar, told this day that the development was so sad and very unfortunate. Still quoting this day, Umar reiterated his call on the international community to intervene in the matter. He also faulted a portion of the bill seeking to amend the Terrorism Prevention Act 2013 that prohibited ransom payment to kidnappers in the country. This they gathered that the terrorist group suspected to be Ansarud, that is a breakaway group from Boko Haram, released the picture of the new baby. Out of the 63 abducted train passengers under captivity, only one passenger, that is the managing director of the Bank of Agriculture, Alwan Hassan, has been released after allegedly paying a ransom of 100 million naira. Meanwhile, there's a report that the terrorists who attacked and abducted the passengers had earlier released 4 different pictures of the victims, numbering 62, with the group allegedly insisting that they were not after a ransom but an exchange of the abducted passengers with their commanders who were in government custody. 9 persons, including a young medical doctor, were killed during the attack, with scores injured and over 60 passengers kidnapped. The Away from that, Vanguard reports that the Department of State Services, DSS, has alerted the nation of renewed plots by the malevolent elements to create more chaos in the country, using improvised explosive devices, IEDs, to bomb public places in the country, including places of worship. A spokesman for the DSS, Dr. Peter Afunaya, said that the evil men were plotting to return Nigeria to the pre-2015 era when they bombed both soft and hard targets, particularly worship and relaxation centers. The DSS pointed out that though the attacks had already been carried out in some parts of the country, the service had uncovered a plot by the suspected criminal gangs to forge an alliance among themselves with a view to launching further attacks of critical infrastructure and other frequented public places like places of worship and relaxation centers, especially during and after the holidays and festive celebrations. According to the secret police, the objective is to achieve some self-serving interest and cause fear among the citizens. And that's all we're taking on this edition of the SWBN News Watch. Thanks for staying with us. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until we meet again, I remain Chiemela Chike. And don't forget to download the SWBN TV mobile app from Google Play Store or Apple Store. Stay blessed.